ordinary guys doing extraordinary things. The Trilby Tour is brought to you in association with William Hunt, Savile Row, and Callaway.
Golfing legend that the Open has to be played with the sight and sound of the sea. So welcome to our Open, Trilby Tour style.
This week for event number 3 on the tour, we're in Cornwall on the Atlantic coast at the magnificent Trevose Golf and Country Club for the first ever Trilby Tour event to be held on a links course. Here's William again.
Links Golf. Links Golf Trilby Tour. Could be carnage for some. Trilby Tour carnage, of course.
Last week on the Trilby Tour, Duncan Sealing took the Hampshire Championship regional title at Old Thorns Golf and Country Estate with this peach of a shot to close out the playoff on the final hole. His victory means that he joins the list as regional champion number 2, with another 8 to be crowned on the way to the International Amateur Final at the end of the season. So far, 20 players have made it to the big show at the Buckinghamshire, and this week the tour heads way out west to Trevose Golf and Country Club in Cornwall, with another 10 places up for grabs at the final and the Championship of Cornwall on the line. And what a backdrop for our intrepid Trilby Tourians as 120 players prepare to encounter links golf at the mighty Trevose, one of the most fearsome yet compelling challenges on this year's tour. Coming up on today's show, we'll have our usual Trilby features. Shot of the day will be awarded, and there's plenty of quality shots to choose from this week. The players making it into Rogues Gallery will once again have a chance to shine in their own special way at the end of the programme. And there's a combination of local knowledge and breathtaking golf in our 4-man 3-hole winner-takes-all Trilby Tour playoff here at Trevose. Right now though, it's time for some action and news on this week's qualifiers. No stranger to Trilby Tour success, 2010 final playoff contender at the Bucks, Tom Muldoon, turned in a solid performance. His short game once again serving him well in this links setting. The RD man making 32 points to squeeze into the International Amateur Final. In fact, Tom's Trilby Tour record is starting to match another Irish great, John Lynch. Rather appropriately, 5 men tied for 5th place. First in was 11 handicapper James Townsend of Warmley Golf Club, who plotted a careful route around the course. His final tally of 33 points proved to be a popular total in the end. And he was also kind enough to throw in some entertaining and rip-roaring links-style golf shots just for good measure. And trust me, on a links course, that is how you do it. Tom Muldoon wasn't the only qualifier with playoff experience. Stephen Creed made top 4 at the Park in last year's Championship of the South West, finally losing out to Gary Barton in a shootout, along with last year's overall champion Chris Dyson. And the man that beat them both was back to try and defend his title here at Trevose. Clayton Lucas caught up with Gary Barton down at the first tee for a chat about his year as a Trilby Tour regional champion. And the big BG, Barton Grin, was of course in evidence.
I mean, how's the year been for you since your achievements last year?
Fantastic. I had a really good year. I've bored everybody rigid with my tales from the Trilby Tour. Everybody's come round my house, has watched it on the TV more than once. It's been really good.
Now, what's the highlight for you of last year?
Just the playoff actually, and winning it down at the Park. It was a fantastic day, and the real drama in the playoff just seemed to go on forever and ever, didn't it? 4 holes. But that was a highlight of it. It was brilliant.
And you had a really big following that day as well, didn't you?
I did, yeah. I had some friends down with there and they whipped the crowd up for me. So hopefully same today.
And now what are you looking forward to about playing here today? I mean, it's a bit tricky, is it? Links course?
It is a tough course. Played it yesterday and the wind's not making it easy and the greens are very quick, and I'm just hoping to qualify today more than anything else and get down to the final later on in the year.
And what would it mean for you to go there again?
Oh, it'd be great. It'd be really good. I didn't really turn up for the final last year. It was went down, had the suits fitted. It was all a bit hectic that day. So I'd like to give a good account of myself in the final this year.
Hey, look, we wish you all the very best today.
Thank you very much. Looking forward to it. Cheers.
But I'm afraid there's no easy way to break the news to all you Barton fans out there. In the end, his tally of 28 points wasn't enough to defend his title or claim a place at this year's final. How the mighty were falling. Back to the boys who booked a finals ticket now. Andrew Acosta, playing off 5, also made 33 points for a share of 5th. And he did it with a combination of big, if slightly wayward, hitting from the tee and some great saving shots to make up for the occasional dodgy blip on his golfing radar. Young Charlie Clare also looked purposeful from the tees, quickly learning to play with the wind and not fight it here at Trevose. This corking tee shot at the first setting the standard for a fine round from the Boyce Hill golfer. Also taking 33 points with his foray into the Links Amphitheatre. Next up, it's Nick Gammon, the 5th and final man on 33 points, and our first qualifier with local knowledge at his disposal. Now, I promise you, this man is a seriously good golfer and made the final strictly on merit. His family and he just happen to own and manage this venue. Here's the man himself to tell us more about Trevose.
It's fantastic to have the Trilby Tour here. It's the first time it's been to Cornwall. The event's very well run. Lots of good competitors, good standard of golf, and the association is great for Cornwall as a whole. We hope that all competitors enjoy themselves down in Cornwall. Many haven't been down here before. We're a links golf course. We've got self-catering accommodation, although we have a very highly rated restaurant on site as well. We're surrounded by 7 stunning beaches and bays, and we hope they'll experience the amateur version of the Open here in Cornwall on the first links course that the Trilby Tour has hosted. Competitors are really up for today, and it's great to give them the experience of playing in such a big event at a great setting like this.
We're into this week's top 4 playoff title contenders now, and first up, a man who has a wealth of amateur golfing experience under his belt. He also plays his club golf here at Trevose. Mike Reynard has represented England 20 times at international level, alongside the likes of Luke Donald and Justin Rose. And here on the Trilby Tour, the man just oozed class off a +1 handicap for 35 points. That's good. More local knowledge now, and 5 handicapper Mike Ellis, a GP here in Cornwall and last year's club captain at Trevose, was simply fantastic on his way to a share of 2nd with Mike Reynard. Another very cool 35-pointer in the bank from a local lad. The last man into a 3-way tie for 2nd was Camberwell Park teenager Mark Keevil, the 18-year-old with some bold hitting from the tee, whatever club he had in his hand. In quite glorious Cornish conditions, the baby-faced assassin produced some exquisite golf for his 35 points and will head into the winner-takes-all playoff with a real shout at claiming the title, especially if he can maintain this sort of form. Now, every week we focus on the qualifiers and top 4 playoff contenders, but that's not the only place where you can get Trilby Tour drama. Adam Phillips went to speak with Les Sayers about his dramatic Trilby score.
My name is Les Sayers, and I represent Cirencester Golf Club and also Crimple Valley and Harrogate.
So the question is, are you going to be able to go back to those golf clubs?
Well, if it's kept a secret, Adam, that's the important thing. I know it's not a lot of points, but if Sky don't let this go to 2 million people, then I should be okay. This was a birthday present from my brother, and today I'm afraid I get the notoriety package because I scored just 12 points.
What were your aims coming into today?
12 was a number I had in mind, to finish by 12. Unfortunately, nerves got the better of me, I have to say. But no, I enjoyed the day. It's a terrific day. And actually, if I might add, I played with Mike Reynard, who has made the qualifying, and he was terrific and actually encouraged me all the way around.
And are you going to enter next year?
I don't think William's going to let me, quite frankly. But no, I would love to come back and play again. So yes.
Well, we hope to see you soon.
All right, thank you, Adam. Thank you.
Well done, Les. Great sport. Onwards and upwards now, and upwards to meet the tallest player ever to qualify for a Trilby Tour playoff. 6'7" Andy Wright was literally head and shoulders above the rest of the field at Trevose. The Parkstone Golf Club man shooting a magnificent 38 points, and the huge hitting 19-year-old will be a handful in the playoff. He gets a shot on every hole, so watch out, Keeble, Ellis and Reynard. The right stuff is coming to get you. Confirmation now of our top 10 here at Trevose. Muldoon, Gammon, Townsend, Creed, Acosta and Clare are all on their way to the International Amateur Final at the Bucks. But after the break, local boys Mike Reynard and Mike Ellis take on teenage marauders Mark Keeble and Andy Wright in this week's playoff. Team orders, though, go out of the window. As always on the Trilby Tour, it's winner takes all. Last man standing wins it. Playoff action to come after the break.
The Trilby Tour is brought to you in association with Callaway. The Trilby Tour is brought to you in association with William Hunt, Savile Row.
Welcome back to Trevose Golf and Country Club for highlights action from the Trilby Tour Championship of Cornwall playoff. Before we get to the action, here's David Cowan, assistant manager at Trevose, with his take on the challenge ahead.
Trevose, Cornwall, sunshine, good breeze, and it's a good links test. We've had dry weather, so the fairways are running nicely. The greens are firm, but they can hold a good shot with spin, and they're putting really, really well. So first, just being the first hole is a hard hole. It's just under 450 yards. Today, it's almost into the wind, slightly off the left. Just the nature of the first hole makes people nervous. It's a fairly small green in comparison with the other greens at Trevose. Golf was founded on links turf by the sea. You know, it is what people determine to be the test. You know, the Open Championship. You know, champion golfer is on a links golf course.
On the tee, Andy Wright.
It's playoff time, and first up, the man that blew everyone away in regulation, Andy Wright, outscored his playoff rivals by 3 points, making 38 overall. But this is the playoff, and that means all slates are wiped clean. Let's hear from the big man.
Andy Wright, 19 years old, Parkstone Golf Club. I'll be playing off 11 handicap. Trying not to leather it in the wind. Did that yesterday and it was just awful. Didn't work. Playing it on the wind today just worked. It just really, really worked. My day job, I'm a technical assistant for a housing company called Bellway Homes.
What are your hobbies outside of golf?
Motorsport. Love watching the motorsport. I've got a motorbike myself. Work on my cars all the time and just generally having fun with the boys.
Who's your favourite golfer?
Have to be Rory McIlroy.
What football team do you support?
Coventry City.
What are your feelings going into a playoff situation?
Pretty nervous, but if I can keep it going, I'll be really pleased with myself. I listen to my caddy Rich, he's been a real treat all day. Keep listening to him and just play well, hopefully.
And how do you rate your chances?
3-1.
Nice one, Andy. Driving the ball is his passion, and there's also an element of pride involved. Once again, Andy booming it away from the tee for a good opener.
On the tee, Mark Keeble.
Mark Keevil, the second teenager through to the playoff, another ferocious hitter. And like all four playoff protagonists, a very cool customer on the fairways. Here's Mark.
Mark Keevil, 19, Camberwell Park Golf Club, handicap of 3. I'm just a greenkeeper, work up at Camberwell 3 days a week. That's alright. Get to play golf afterwards, finish at 2:30, so it's quite handy really. I find I can stay very calm, you know, so I don't get very angry, so I can block out all my bad shots. Putting was good today, so it's right there. Weaknesses, probably the high fade of the driver sometimes. Sometimes get the bad driving, but apart from that, it's alright, managed to hold it together.
Who is your favourite golfer?
It's got to be Luke Donald.
What football team do you support?
I don't actually support football, I'm more of a rugby man. So rugby-wise, it'd be Bath Rugby Club. Obviously, you've got a little bit of nerves there, but still, you know, you've got a good chance to win, so just go for it, really. Already qualified, so there's nothing to lose almost. Just keep it nice and steady, because of course it's still quite windy out there, so just keep it on the fairway and the greens and hopefully hold a couple of putts.
Time for that intense moment on a Trilby Tour playoff tee, a moment of stillness, then the strike. The crowd like it. Mark looking worried though. But the spotters found the ball and all was well. Next up, one of Trevose's finest, Mike Ellis, good to go.
Mike Ellis, age 56, Trevose Golf and Country Club, handicap 5. I hit the ball fairly straight. I sometimes have bad putting days. I'm a GP. In the winter I ski, in the summer I surf.
Who is your favourite golfer?
It's probably Tom Morton actually. It's quite exciting, the way of doing it, and I quite enjoy getting on with it really. It's a while since we came in and it's getting cooler.
And what are your tactics going into the playoff?
Just try and do the same score on those 3 holes as I did going out this morning.
And how do you rate your chances?
Well, seeing Mike is here and he hits the ball a lot further than me, the wind's getting up, I think he'll have a good chance, so maybe not for me.
A lack of confidence, brutal realism or kidology from the dock? Only time will tell. Mike Ellis, though, in great shape with his first drive and absolutely no need to see where that one's going to land. Position A1. And last but definitely not least, the most decorated amateur player ever to set foot in a Trilby playoff, Mike Reynard, looking to add this title to numerous county and international honours.
Mike Reynard, Trevose Golf Club, 49 years of age, +1 handicap. I run a cafe bistro in Truro in Cornwall. I've played golf for a long time. Being able to adapt to whatever happens on the golf course, I think, is my main strength. Not to get too stressed about it.
Who is your favourite golfer?
Seve.
And what football team do you support?
Man United. I just want to get on with it really, because we finished about 20 minutes ago, so just sort of cooling down a bit now. So I want to sort of get into it and just play like I did in the tournament.
And what are your tactics going into the playoff?
Nothing, just the same as I've done on the first tee this morning. Just, hit the ball as good as I can, make pars, birdies.
What do you rate your chances?
Good. Looking forward to it.
Oh yes, we like a bit of confidence. Mike talking the talk. And now all he's got to do is walk the walk. It's that easy. Oh no, hang on. I nearly forgot. This is the Trilby Tour. Here we go again. Alongside me in the commentary booth, Matt Woods. And Matt, this is probably one of the strongest playoff lineups we've ever seen on the Trilby Tour.
Thanks, Simon. Yeah, 4 great players and a wonderful golf course in Trevose. One of the best golf courses in the country, and Links Golf comes to the Trilby Tour for the first time.
Yes, an interesting demand as the Gladiators step down onto the first fairway. Andy Wright.
Strong opening hole, measures just under 450 yards. Relatively good tee shot, just down the right-hand side. Won't be able to land this on the green. Needs to land it short, let it chase up. That's a little too shy.
38 points in regulation for Andy Wright, the best score, but just looks a bit tight in this playoff final.
Yeah, Mike Reynard in the long stuff down the right-hand side. Quality player. Been a losing finalist in the British Amateur. So I expect to see some great golf from him today. But a little bit of work needed here on the first to save par.
Yeah, Mike Reynard's got a bit of form in the game of golf, shall we say. Now then, Mike Ellis about to hit his second.
Yeah, coming in from about 225 here on the first, just out with his little baffler. Going to try and chase it up to that back flag.
Oh, it's good.
Oh, it's very good.
Well, that's what 50 years of experience playing at Trevose Golf Club does for you. Wonderful shot from Mike Ellis. I'd go as far to say that's one of the best we've ever seen on the Trilby Tour.
Yeah, he really has a stake to claim here early in this final. Tremendous shot, sent out a warning signal to these youngsters. Now Mark Keevil on the first, just down the left-hand side. Looks like he's in some of that hay as well, digging it out. Another player finds that grassy knoll some 30 yards short of the front edge.
So we're well and truly off and running in this week's Trilby Tour playoff, and the links conditions an exquisite challenge. Andy Wright, tallest man in this playoff, with his third shot.
Yeah, important he gets this in close. Needs to make 4, no worse than 5 on this opening hole.
Dear.
And that's going to cause great problems. Just caught that back bunker, and that's going to be a difficult lie. And he's under pressure early on in this playoff.
Not going well for the man who got the best score in regulation. Now then, just on the top of that grassy knoll.
Not too difficult this, just try and land it on the front edge, just let it release. Played that beautifully.
Well done, Mark Keevil, the greenkeeper from Cornwall Park. Looking very comfortable at the moment in this playoff.
Yeah, green's running beautifully today. Saw the speed of that ball there, and that's back into the wind as well. Now Mike Reynard, plenty of local knowledge also. Just a little sand iron here, back foot, just try and chuck it just short of the green, let it release to the flag. He's executed that beautifully. But again, more evidence of the pace of the greens today. That ball running out a good 12 feet past the flag, and plenty of work to do here to save his par.
And the 20-time England international, played alongside Luke Donald, Justin Rose, Simon Dyson, is struggling a bit in this playoff.
Now Andy Wright, 6'6", he's almost got 7 foot down to that golf ball. Tough shot this, needs to make sure he gets the sand first, and unfortunately he's got the ball. And for the first time today, looks like he's under pressure.
Well, that's what the Trilby Tour playoff does to you. It really does call on every single ounce of reserve that you have. For Andy Wright, in real trouble here, and it's still him to go as well, and that's a horrible feeling.
I think his caddy's just given him some instructions. Chip it in. Now, 5th shot. Does not want to make a 7, so it's important he gets this down within 3 or 4 feet. Played it beautifully, executed that fantastically well. Great applause from the gallery. The local players understand how well he's played that.
Yeah, well done, Andy Wright. Tough start to this playoff, but he's got himself back together, and if he can knock that one in, then he's not over and done with just yet. Mike Reynard, off +1, won't get anything on the rest of the field, so he has to play this perfectly.
And he'll know exactly what this putt's doing. Just coming off the right-hand side, back up the hill. We'll have watched his chip to its conclusion, so he knows exactly what this ball's going to do. Great looking putting action. Just under-hit it, really. And a disappointing 5 for the local favourite.
And a nice little read as well for Mark Keevil. But look at this. That's not what we expected from Mike Reynard on this first hole. And once again, the Trilby Tour playoff is taking its toll.
Now, as Simon said, Mark will have gone to town on the read with this putt. Knows it's just outside right edge. Can afford to be firm. Needs to hold its line for at least 3/4 of the putt. And that's exactly what he's done. Says his biggest asset is his calmness and his composure. He's going to need that for the next 2 holes, but a fantastic start with a 4 there at the tough opening hole.
Level par then for Mark Keevil. Moves to the lead with 2 men still to finish up. But this man could be the leader. Mike Ellis, what a wonderful way to play the opening hole. It's the finishing touch though. Oh no. Well, there's a long way to go yet. A lot of golf still to be played, but Matt, that could be costly.
Yeah, but he's my sneaky favourite here. I just think the years of experience, his expectations are very realistic. I think we could see him sneak through the next couple of holes.
So, the Doc, Mike Ellis, co-leader at the end of the first, and for Andy Wright, well, might be a double bogey putt, but if he can hole it, it'll be hats off to him for keeping it together.
And Andy receives a shot here on the first, so it's a 6-net 5, still very much in this Trilby Tour playoff.
Absolutely, it's all about the dock and the greenkeeper for the moment though. Mike Ellis and Mark Keevil lead. More to come after the break here on Sky Sports.
The Trilby Tour is brought to you in association with Callaway. The Trilby Tour is brought to you in association with William Hunt, Savile Row.
Welcome back to Trevose Golf and Country Club. We've had a terrific start to the playoff for the Trilby Tour Championship of Cornwall and the South West. Here's David Cowan again to tell us about the second playoff hole.
10. Today they're playing it as a par 4 at 472. I mean, off the backs it's just under 560 as a par 5, but today as a par 4, playing very difficult. There are 2 greenside bunkers that protect it. It is stroke 3, and of course we've got to remember it's a handicap event, so there will be the players, if they're getting a shot there, they will be maybe thinking 5-net 4 will help Stableford. Then they move to 18 and anything can happen.
First on the tee on the 10th hole and receiving a shot will be Mark Keevil.
Shaping up very nicely this playoff, Matt.
Yeah, super par on the first. Great hole, this second hole in our playoff. Good strong hole downhill, water hazard about 350 off the tee, so it's not going to bother the players today. It's going to leave them a long iron into the green. Good looking swing this. One that looks like it's going to stand up under the pressure. Great view that, the flags fluttering in the background, just showing that the wind's into and off the left here.
Well, slightly anxious look after this one, but I think a bit of playoff adrenaline has kicked in for Mark Keevil. Receives a shot like Mike Ellis and Andy Wright on this second playoff hole, and that's a very good drive from the youngster.
Yeah, Mike will be looking to start this just down that left hand side, just let it drift back on the wind. See a great turn here in his backswing. Really gets behind the ball, enables him to power it down there.
Well, he was concerned that he was nowhere near as long as the other players in this playoff final, but he's just played it beautifully so far, constructed it very nicely.
Yeah, more than holding his own. Now Andy Wright hold a good putt for 6-net 5 on the first. Just needs to calm himself down. Receives a shot here also. Looks to have found his rhythm. Leading point scorer today with 38, so he knows he's on form. Now after losing his opening tee shot right, tough tee shot this with the wind off the left. Just come over that and a little quick, I fear that's going left.
Yeah, good spot, Matt. That's not a great spot though, I'm afraid, for this man, Mike Reynard. Second shots were going to be crucial for the playoff contenders on hole 2. Andy Wright receiving a shot needed a result. And clearly, the man with a plan got what he wanted. And he was backing himself with wedge in hand for the next shot. For Mike Reynard in the long stuff again and not able to guarantee anything from this lie. He forced the issue though, responding well to the challenges he was being presented with. He too would need his short game to be right on song for his third shot. Mike Ellis had already been devastating from the fairway on hole 1. The question was, could he do it again? The answer was not quite, and he knew he'd tugged it as soon as he'd made contact. Work to be done for the dock. Just 18 years of age and in great shape in this playoff, the door was open for Mark Keevil and all he had to do was walk through it. Again, that lovely rhythm in evidence even under the greatest of pressure, but unfortunately he was left again. Let's get back to the action.
Wright's plotted his way down this hole beautifully. Just left himself about the 90-yard mark. Big slope in front of the flag, so needs to be aggressive. Can use the wind to help spin it and stop it, which he's done beautifully. That's going to leave him about a 20-footer for his par net birdie. Just see that slope in front of the flag there. I'd expect to see a similar shot here from Reynard. Chuck it back to the flag. Allow the spin to help create some spin.
Well, that's a very different approach, and this is not going to work for Mike Reynard. He's going to find a slope, but it's the wrong one.
Yeah, surprised to see him play that shot. He's obviously tried to sort of chip and chase it a little bit. Hits it just short of that slope and allow it to amble its way down, but that hasn't come off the way expected at all. And now plenty of work to do.
Yeah, that's left Reynard with a stinker of a putt.
Never really sure how the ball's going to react when it lands out of this stuff, but I'd expect to see it chase up. So probably trying to chuck it just on the edge of the green and let it release up to the flag. Just saw it grab there, but a beautifully executed shot.
Plenty of shouts from the local players of great shot for Mark Keevil. They know their stuff round this course, and that was superbly done.
Now Ellis, better lie. Just going to land this just on the edge and just let it release up. And again, another nicely played shot.
Yeah, your tip for the win, Matt, going along pretty well.
Yeah, and our two leaders there, side by side, keeping a close eye on one another. Looks to be thoroughly enjoying the experience.
Yeah, that's not something you could say for this man, and he's not going to enjoy this putt.
Now, a massive swing off the right. It's got to go back up that slope he's just trundled down, and then it'll swing hard to the left from about 8 feet short of the flag. And the news doesn't get any better for Mike. Really needs to hold this to stay in this playoff final. And a slightly weak putt means he's got about 4 feet for bogey. And the face tells a story there.
Well, he was the red-hot favourite coming into this playoff final. But Mike Reynard is not getting it all his own way. Now, Andy Wright gone into this second hole with a very specific plan, i.e. to use his shot and to at least keep himself in the frame going down the 18th, the final playoff hole.
Yeah, and you can see why he amassed so many points today. Just plotted his way around beautifully. Knows his strengths, got a good looking putting action. And it just drifts by on the right side. I'd expect to see him tidy that up for a 5-net 4. He's actually got himself back in contention.
Taking his time here, caddy's playing a valuable role. This is the point when you get to just slow your golfer down a bit, although good luck to Mike Ellis's caddy. He's never going to slow this man down. Look at this, hustling again.
Yeah, par putt here, just off the left edge. Just short on pace on the first, so I'd expect to see this one slightly more aggressive. Good looking action. Oh, just drifts down that left side.
That's 2 chances gone for Mike Ellis. I wonder if he'll get another one.
But also receiving a shot, so a tap that in for a 5-net 4. Stays at level par.
And the GP from Penryn still on level. Mike Ellis still in with a golden opportunity of claiming this championship of Cornwall.
Now Mark's been very fortunate. For the second time in 2 holes he's seen his playing partner putt, so he'll have gone to town on it. Pretty straight, he'll know this putt is now. Hold the first one at great pace, so I expect to see the same here.
Oh yes. Well played, Mark Keevil.
He's just buried that straight in the middle. And as he predicted, looking calm and composed. And with a shot that moves him into red figures. And our first player under par in this playoff.
Dad knows the job isn't quite done yet on his bag, but smiles all round from the Keevils. But for this man, Mike Reynard, I guess humbling is the word. It's been a humbling experience.
Yeah, disappointing bogey start. That puts him 3 back with a hole to play. But a player who won't give up. He's got enough experience in this game to know that anything can happen.
Yeah, and I've got a funny feeling, Matt, that we'll be hearing from Mike Reynard again come the final at the Bucks.
Yeah, he's got a good 4 or 5 weeks now to get his game back in shape. And that'll be definitely something he'll be targeting.
So for Andy Wright, in terms of plan B on this hole, he needs to tuck this one away and head off to the 18th and see if he can unleash one of those monster drives to put him in pole position. Andy Wright not out of it just yet.
No, absolutely not. Stunning playoff here at Trevose. Great stage, great players, great golf.
Spot on, Mr. Woods, spot on. Roll on 18.
The Trilby Tour is brought to you in association with Callaway. The Trilby Tour is brought to you in association with William Hunt, Savile Row.
Just beautiful scenes for the Trilby Tour this week down in Cornwall for this links test at Trevose Golf and Country Club. One hole left in the playoff, the 18th. Here's David Cowan again with his assessment.
An 18, you've got to have a good drive, and then it's on the second shot. And it's a long second shot today for most of the players. Just keep it under control, really, and battle the nerves. And anything can happen. Anything can happen. Strong drive, but again, the green is surrounded by bunkers. Tough hole.
Stunning golf so far and a stunning playoff. Now, 18th hole, tough driving hole, out of bounds, all down the left, downwind. Fairway slopes a little right to left, so the players will be looking down that right-hand side. Must get the ball starting on the correct line here. Don't want to get it turning in the wind at all. Committed rhythm has stayed throughout these 3 holes, and he loves it.
Good shot from our tournament leader,
On the tee, Mike
playoff
Ellis.
leader, Mark Keevil. And important to point out that it's a completely level playing field on this last hole. Nobody with a shot.
Now, my little favourite to win today needs to find a bit of magic. One back. Again, ripped through it. Loves it.
Go on, shall I say it or you? Just what the doctor ordered.
Absolutely. Now, Andy Wright, after a dodgy start, really composed himself. With that framework and those long arms, has the potential to boom it down there. Just needs to keep himself composed, though. Great looking rhythm, very balanced swing, loving that also. Yeah, another fantastic drive, just left to centre, going to leave him a great angle into that front left flag today.
Now then, local favourite around these parts, and I think most of the players that play here at Trevose thought Mike Reynard was going to walk this playoff final. It's been anything but. 2 over going down the last. Yeah, he's missed one drive left, one drive right. That only leaves down the middle, which is pretty much where he's hit it, just feeding back into the fairway. So position A. Well, it's still looking good for Mark Keevil as they head towards this last green. Mike Ellis, the man that could take it away from him at level, but needed a good shot in at this point, and unfortunately for him, came up well short, and that was obvious from the swing mat.
Yeah, first one today, it's looked a bit short and quick. Reynard seems to have found his flow again. Beautifully looking balanced swing, just an 8 iron in there. That's about 25 feet right of the flag.
Andy Wright then, just tugging his approach and down that slope, a nervous moment as he headed towards out of bounds, but he was okay, just.
The tournament leader, just in this right-hand semi, only left himself about 130 yards, in between a wedge and a 9 iron, probably going for the 9 iron. Calm swing, bit of an anti-left swing there, that's fine if it catches the right side of the green, which it does.
And it is all in Mark Keevil's hands. Wonderful shot into the 18th, and his opportunity to win this Trilby Tour Championship of Cornwall is right there, and it's right now. Can Mike Ellis knock it in from here?
Yeah, a bit of links cunning coming up here, out with the putter from some 5 or 6 yards off the green.
Not quite, not quite.
He's just chased that down to about 6 feet short.
Now, you don't want to be in this man's position, do you, Matt?
No, this is your typical links lie. Very sandy lie, not a lot of grass under the golf ball. Got to chuck it up some 6 or 8 feet, and no green to work with at all. Anything inside 12 feet here is a phenomenal shot.
Off it goes and it's running. Well, it's not a complete shocker, but I'm afraid for Andy Wright, that's probably it for him today.
Now, right now, Mark Keevil knows 2 putts to win this title. Interesting putt down the hill, downwind's going to feed fractionally off that right-hand side. But this is all about pace. Really trying to cosy this up to the side of the hole. Just getting a little bit away from him. And that's going to roll some 3 or 4 feet past.
Well, it still might be very straightforward for Mark Keevil. Just depends what the other players do. Depends whether Mike Ellis can put some pressure on that last putt. It's Andy Wright then to finish up this playoff, first of all, coming down the slope.
Come on, Andy, finish in style. Little right to lefter down the hill.
Oh yes, wonderful stuff. And the smile is back on the face of Andy Wright. Brilliant finish to his playoff.
Now Mike will have gone to town on that putt. We'll know it's just off the right side. The hole will be looking the size of a bucket right now.
Oh, carbon copy.
Super 3. Classy golfer. Ends in style.
And the putts are dropping on this 18th green. Good strong finish to this playoff. But this is the man who needs to hold this to put any pressure on Keevil. Oh, he's done it. Get in, says Mike Ellis. And the dock is still in with a shout. And all of a sudden, this putt for Mark Keevil, Matt Woods, looks horrible.
Yeah, all of a sudden it's taken on a completely different look. Going to come fractionally off that left-hand side. As we've seen him do all day, though, it's important he gets the pace right. Wants to keep the ball on line. He really has looked super composed all day. But I can tell you right now, that hole looks half its normal size.
Mark Keevil for the title. Oh yes, in he goes. Keevil is the champion.
A great playoff final. 4 players to definitely look out for at the Buckinghamshire later on this year.
3 down and 8 events still to go in 2011. Next week we go from Cornwall to Yorkshire as another 10 finals places are up for grabs at the KP Club, plus the Championship of Yorkshire. And we move on through the events to the place where all players want to be come the end of the season, the International Amateur Final at the Buckinghamshire. And don't forget, Monday nights, 10 p.m. on Sky Sports is Trilby time. But for now, it's time for Mark Keevil to enjoy his moment in the sun as the 18-year-old claims the trophy and the title. Let's hear from the winner.
It's all been set up perfectly, very well done. And the course in great condition as well, which always makes it nice. No, it's been very good.
Now, when you entered, did you think you'd be stood here now holding the trophy?
Not really, no. No, I was hoping to do my best, but I was not expecting to win at all. It's been a very big shock and big surprise. When Mum entered me, she saw it in a couple of golf magazines. Said, you know, you should do this, it'd be good for you to do it. I was on the waiting list for this event to start off with and got in. And then that's why I'm here, yeah, through my mum actually, so anyway, quite a bit of thanks.
So there'll be a phone call made shortly, will there?
Yeah, there will be, yeah.
Well, look, congratulations, and we look forward to seeing you in the final.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Now, don't go anywhere. We're not done yet. Shot of the day was a no-brainer. The former Trevose captain, Mike Ellis, showing everyone how to play the first hole at his course. That's our shot of the day for week 3. Well played, Mike. Now, just time for a brief visit to the ever-popular Rogues Gallery. First up, follow this one off to the left. Well played, gentlemen, well played. And to finish this week, the legend that is Eric the Viking Kinlan.
Very well.
OK, that's enough tomfoolery for this week. Here's William.
I was a bit worried about the links when we put together the Trilby Tour and links. I thought, oh my God, what was going to happen? But I think the spectacular scenery, the spectacular course and the spectacular golf put paid to my worries. I couldn't really say what's been the most singularly impressive thing about Trevose. It's a collection of the people, the Gammon family, the way they looked after everybody, made everybody welcome, especially us. It's just been brilliant. It's been absolutely brilliant. If we can get that standard of golf at every playoff, we've got a good tournament. In our final today, we had an ex-England international amateur player, Mike Reynard, and Mark took him on and beat him. That's a pretty tough thing to do, and that's the Trilby Tour for you. The Trilby Tour respects no reputations.
That's it from Trevose for this year. Congratulations to Mark Keevil. He's this week's regional champion. Next week, it's young, it's brash, it's confident, and it's on the tour. We're off to the KP Club for more Trilby Tour drama. For more information, go to www.williamhunttrilbytour.com. We'll see you next week.
Ordinary guys doing extraordinary things. The Trilby Tour is brought to you in association with William Hunt, Savile Row, and Callaway.